about a boat ride because that's the title, but what do you think happens in the middle? So these, and yes, you are correct, those are squirrels, and they will go on a boat ride. And then what do you think happens in the middle? Is it just going to be a fun ride? Is something going to go wrong? What is going to happen? So Ranak said they got lost. That's a good guess. Aaron said in the water and the animals get hurt. That's also a good guess. And Tabello said the fishes fight back. Oh, I remember, it's not Tabello, it's Dante, right? And so all of you said, or some of you told me that there could be a few things that go wrong on this boat ride. And Nokwanda said, I think it's about the swans. They are mean and then they need help. That's also a good guess. And then, do you think this story has a happy ending, or do you think it will end on a very sad note? Kayla said they are lost and they got lost and they get hurt. So does this story have a happy ending? What will happen in the end? Junior said no. Nokonda said yes, happy ending. Alice said it will end happy. Remember, happily, that is the adverb. It will end happily. It was a happy ending. Right. So before we go on for too long, just guessing, let's actually listen to the story and see what really happens. So right now, it's time to listen. And this story, you will even have some pictures to look at while I read it. So you can stop typing, stop guessing, just relax. It's a Monday, so nobody's really in the mood for typing too much or working too hard. So this is why I'm doing a listening exercise. You're just going to listen to a story. Later on, I will ask you some questions, but then we will listen to the story one more time. Because remember, every time we know the questions, we have to go back to the story. So guys, I said you can stop typing now. It's time for listening. Let's go to the first slide. Those of you who listen will be able to answer the questions, but the rest, unfortunately, not. Right, in a small garden in the city, there was a big pipal tree. A family of squirrels lived in that tree. Vicky was one member of that family who liked to talk big. His cousin Kato had come to visit from a far forest. So there you see all the squirrels in the tree and Vicky and his cousin. Today, we shall go on a big boat, said Vicky to Kato. But I'm afraid of water. I cannot swim, mumbled Kato. Come on, you scrappy squirrel. With Vicky around, you need not be afraid. I have been on a boat many times. Vicky importantly led the way, and then they reached the river. The boat was tied to a post. So they ran up the rope, hopped into the boat, and sat curled in a corner. Slowly, the boat started moving up and down the river, which curled and curved through the trees. Kato saw many ducks swimming past them. The fish put their heads out of the water and gulped a hello. Some swans majestically glided near them. They were so beautiful that Kato tried to touch one, and he toppled into the river. As he went deeper into the water, he passed some fish. There you can see he's swimming past the fish. Help, help, he gurgled as he passed the boat. Vicky did not know what to do. He just scampered from one side of the boat to the other side, shouting, "Help! Squirrel overboard!" A swan had seen Kato fall into the water. She just put her head down in the water and picked Kato up in her beak. Then she tossed him into the boat. A shivering, trembling Kato sat in a sunny corner to dry himself. Vicky sat quietly near him. As he got warm and dry, he cheered up. "What an adventure! Wait till I tell the folks back home." Already he fancied himself a sailor, a hero, brave and adventurous. When the boat reached the bank, the squirrels hopped off and swaggered their way home. Kato was finding it very difficult to keep his grand adventure inside his head. He just wanted to tell everybody, and his head was going round and round just like the boat. But he shut his eyes and fell asleep at the dinner table. So that is the end of this listening exercise. Let's go to the next slide. I will quickly show you all the questions. You don't need to answer them yet because you will listen to the story one more time. So we have number 1, who are the main characters in the story? What kind of animal are they? What is the relationship between the two main characters? So some of you might know the answers already. Just keep them in your mind. If you don't know the answers, try to remember these questions for when you listen a second time. Number 4, why didn't Kato want to go on the boat? Number 5, how did they get onto the boat? Number 6, which animals did they see from the boat? Number 7, why did Kato fall into the water? Number 8, who saved Kato's life? And then you also have to tell me how at number 9. Number 10, were you surprised when Kato said, "What an adventure"? And then you have to tell me why or why not. Were you surprised? Then tell me why. Were you not surprised? Then tell me why not. And then 11, how did he see himself in this adventure? Number 12, did he tell other people about his adventure? Explain your answer. And then the last question, what do you call this kind of story where animals are the main characters? All right, so now it's time to listen again. This time, no pictures, just listening. The boat ride. In a small garden in the city, there was a big pipal tree. A family of squirrels lived in that tree. Vicky was one member of that family who liked to talk big. His cousin Kato had come to visit him from a far forest. "Today we shall go on a big boat," said Vicky to Kato. But I am afraid of water. I cannot swim," mumbled Kato. "Come on, you scrappy squirrel. With Vicky around, you need not be afraid. I have been on a boat many times." Vicky importantly led the way, and they reached the river. The boat was tied to a post. So they ran up the rope, hopped into the boat, and sat curled in a corner. Slowly, the boat started moving up and down the river, which curled and curved through the trees. Kato saw many ducks swimming past them. The fish put their heads out of the water and gulped a hello. Some swans majestically glided near them. They were so beautiful that Kato tried to touch one, and he toppled over into the river. As he went deeper into the water, he passed some fish. "Help! Help!" he gurgled as he passed the boat. Vicky did not know what to do. He just scampered from one side of the boat to the other side, shouting, "Help! Squirrel overboard!" A swan had seen Carter fall into the water. She just put her head down in the water and picked Carter up in her beak. Then she tossed him into the boat. A shivering, trembling Carter sat in a sunny corner to dry himself. Vicky sat quietly near him. As he got warm and dry, he cheered up. "What an adventure! Wait till I tell the folks back home." Already he fancied himself as a sailor, a hero, brave and adventurous. When the boat reached the bank, the squirrels hopped off and swaggered their way home. Carter was finding it very difficult to keep his grand adventure inside his head. His head was going round and round, just like the boat. But he shut his eyes and then fell asleep at the dinner table. All right. So now we are going to answer these questions to see who of you listened very well. Number 1, who are the main characters in this story? You don't need to have the spelling correct because you didn't see it. So you can just write what you think. There we go. Dante said, Vicky and Carter, remember to use complete sentences. Complete sentences, guys. If we put that into a complete sentence, it will be the main characters are Vicky and Carter. Wow, you guys are really good. Number 2, what kind of animal are they? So Dante has, they are squirrels. I'm going to show you now how to spell squirrels, guys. And once I show you, you should never forget it again. Oh, yes, Joda, you've got it. You've got the right spelling. Squirrels. Look at that. They are squirrels. So it's S-Q-U-I and then 2 R's, E-L-S, squirrels. There we go. Don't forget the I after the U. S-Q-U-I, squirrels. What is the relationship between the 2 main characters? What is the relationship between the 2 main characters? There we go, Joda. Joda said they are cousins. Erin said bro and sis. They are not brother and sister, guys. They are cousins. And Okwanda said Vicky and Carter are cousins. That's good. Yes, now I see all the answers coming through. Zinzi and Dante. Yes, Larata, they are family, but you have to tell me what kind of family. So I want to know, just like the other kids said that they are cousins. Mulu said they are cousins. Very good. They are cousins. Why didn't Carter want to go on the boat? Wow, Joda, you are so quick. He did not want to be on the boat because he could not swim. Nokwanda said he did not know how to swim. That's a good answer. Dante said because Carter was scared of the water. Yes, guys, remember we can never start a sentence with because or but. So we can just say he was scared of the water or he couldn't swim. Or if you want to use because, you have to say the previous part as well. So you have to say, Carter didn't want to go on the boat because blah, blah, blah. All right. There we go. Mulo said Kato didn't know how to swim. Guys, I'm looking at all these answers. They are perfect. Very well done. I can't comment on every answer, but know that I see them all, and I'm very happy that you are responding. Right, so the next question. Why didn't, oh, let me just reveal this. Sorry. Kato was afraid of water because he couldn't swim. See, now I used the sentence in the beginning, and then I said because, and I gave the reason. Number 5, how did they get onto the boat? So Dante said they got in the boat with a pole. They didn't really get into the boat with a pole. Let's see, Joda said they climbed a rope that was tied to the boat. That's a great answer. Lerato, they used a rope. That's perfect. They climbed a rope. Good, guys. They ran on the rope. They used a rope. All of those answers are good. Just remember, when you are actually writing them on paper in your exam, you need capital letters in the beginning and you need a full stop at the end. Right, so let's see my answer. They ran up a rope and hopped into the boat. So this boat was tied to a pole. So you cannot say they used a pole, but the pole was there to keep the rope tied to it. So they ran up the rope. They didn't run up the pole. They ran up the rope. And which animals did they see from the boat? Let's see who knows the correct past tense sentence. So here we have Zinzi. They saw swans and fishes. Good. Joda said they saw fish, ducks, and swans. Not they seen, they saw, guys. I'm not going to read answers if it's not in a nice sentence. Nokwanda said they saw fish and swans. Kayla said they saw swans and fish go past them, and the fish gurgled hello. And Dante said they saw swans. Someone said, I saw a fish. Were you there? And then, yes, I see all of you have the fish and the swans. Is there anything else? They saw ducks, fish, and swans. Remember, some of you forgot about the ducks. So if you just wrote ducks, fish, and swans, your answer, I don't know if your teacher will give you any points for that, maybe half a mark or something, but that's not a full sentence, guys. You have to start with a capital letter and you have to have a verb. So if you have just ducks, fish, and swans, there's no verb in that sentence. So that immediately you know that is not a complete sentence. All right. Let's go to the next page. Why did Kato fall into the water? Why did Kato fall into the water? I still see answers of the previous question. I want to know, why did Kato fall into the water? Nokwanda said he wanted to touch a swan. Look at that perfect sentence, guys. She started with a capital letter. She has a verb. The verb is wanted. And then she has her full stop at the end after swan. Let's read, I think this is Calum, right? Let's read Calum's sentence. Kato fell in the water because he tried to touch the swans. That's a very good sentence. Just remember your full stop. Naledi said he wanted to touch a swan. There we go. Zinzi said the same thing. Lerato said he went very close to see the fish. Did he want to touch the fish or the swans, guys? What was he thinking? Some of you said fish and some of you said swans. So there's my answer. He thought the swans were so beautiful that he tried to touch one. Then he fell into the water. So it's about the swans this time and not about the fish. The swans. And then who saved Kato's life? There we go. Kayla said, a swan saved his life. Good sentence. The swan saved Kato's life, said Nakwanda. A swan saved Kato, said Zinzi. The swan is not a sentence. Where's your verb? Did Vicky save Kato's life? I don't think so. No, Vicky did not save Kato's life. It was the swan. There we go. Thank you, everyone. I see many of you have the correct answer. So here is my verb. Look at the screen. Remember I said every sentence needs a verb. I cannot just say a swan, sorry. You have to have a verb. A swan saved his life or saved Kato's life. And how? How did he save his life? What did he do? Did he fly back to the boat? Did he carry him? What happened? So Zinzi said she put her head in the water. That's a great sentence. I see your capital letter, I see your verb, and I see your full stop. And then after she put her head into the water, what did she do? To grab him. Did she grab him by the tail? Ooh, did I say that? Mulu said he saved his life by carrying him with his beak. That's not exactly, not one of you have the exact answer yet, but you are right. This one put her head into the water, but she did something. Let me show you. She picked Kato up in her beak and tossed him into the boat. Yes, Zinzi, you have it. You've got it. And Dante, you also, if you said anything about threw him into the boat or tossed him, so basically she just put her head into the water and picked him up. We don't know where I didn't say by the tail or by the ears or anything, so we can't say that, even though maybe that is the picture that's in your mind. And then she just flicked him, tossed him into the boat. Right, and the next question, were you surprised when Kato said, "What an adventure"? Why or why not? Joda said, yes, because it is an adventure. But why were you surprised? Or do you think that's a normal response? Or do you think, oh, that's strange that he said that? Yes, Mulu, that's a good reason, because he didn't want to go on the boat at first. Yes, he was too scared, but now he's saying, wow, this is such an adventure. That's a good reason. There are more reasons, guys. And Caleb said yes, because he was never saved by a swan. So maybe before in his life, a swan has never saved him. So this is the first time. There we go. Dane said, yes, I was surprised because he was afraid of water. So if someone is scared, they tend not to enjoy things that much, right? If you are scared of heights and you go up high somewhere, then you will not enjoy the thing that you are on. Like maybe it's a Ferris wheel or something. So if you are scared of something, you won't think, oh, this is a nice adventure. You will just think, let me go. All right. So yes, I see all of you say that he was afraid, he didn't know how to swim. Let me show you my answer, why I was surprised. So yes, I was surprised. There we see Zinzi. I think Zinzi has the same idea, because he had fallen into the water. So I thought he would be angry or cry, because he was already scared to go into onto the boat, because he's scared of swimming, he can't swim, and then he fell into the water. So I really thought, oh, now he's going to cry or be angry at his cousin. But instead he said, what an adventure. All right. So we have just 3 more questions. How did he see himself in this adventure? How did he see himself in this adventure? Afterwards, he was thinking some things. There we see Caleb said he saw himself as a sailor. Ularato, a pilot. Was he a pilot? How did he see himself? There we go. Nokwanda said he saw himself as a sailor. All of you are saying that now. Or Mulu said a captain of a boat in the water, a sailor. Remember, your sentences need verbs, guys. If there's no verb, it's not a sentence. Zenzi said he saw himself save someone. Yes, a very brave. He saw himself as brave, right? How do we spell sailor? There you can see my answer. He saw himself as a hero, or you could have said he saw himself as a sailor, or you could have said he saw himself as brave and adventurous. So quickly look on the screen. Let me just give you some spelling tips. If you have EA, what is that sound? I'm just going to write it here. It's going to be ugly, but just follow me quickly. Because some of you spelled sailor like this, S-E-A. That sound is E. So if you read it, it will be sealer. But here, if we look at sailor, we have the A-I sound. If we see A and I next to each other, we know the sound is A, the long A, sailor. And here we have A and then a letter and then E. That is also the long A sound, brave, sailor and brave. Guys, if you know your phonics, if you know the sounds that each letter or pair of letters makes, then you will definitely know how to spell these words. Right. The next question. Did he tell other people about his adventure? Now, I want to see what you said there. And if you say yes, you have to tell me why do you say so. And if you say no, you also have to tell me why. Okay, so here I see all the answers. Joda said no because he fell asleep at the table. Kayla said no, he did not because he closed his eyes and fell asleep at the table. Zenzi said no, he did not tell the others because he was fast asleep. Guys, you cannot just say no, he did not. I want a reason. Nokwanda said no because he closed his eyes at the dinner table. Mulu said no because when he got home at the dinner table, he fell asleep. Right, guys, thank you for all these answers. Bocello said you did not tell people. So maybe you wanted to say he did not tell people about the adventure. He went to sleep. Right, let's look at my answer. I said, no, he didn't. He fell asleep before he could tell them. So he was so excited. He wanted to tell everybody how brave he was. And then he was so tired that he never got the chance to do it. So quickly look at my answer here. The first part. If you write no, he didn't, or yes, he did, anything like that, after no or yes, we always have a comma. No, comma, he didn't. That is a full sentence. Or yes, he did. And then you can start your new sentence with a capital letter. He fell asleep before he could tell them. At least one verb. And then the last sentence the last question that you can see on the screen, but I actually have another question for you. Number 13. What do you call this kind of story where animals are the main characters? Who of you know? Who of you have heard? There we go. Zenzi said, we call it a fairy tale. That is the correct answer, guys. Someone said folk tales. Folk tales can be with people as well, but oh no, sorry guys, it's not a fairy tale. I'm confusing myself right now. A folk tale is something that's passed on from generation to generation, and a fairy tale is something that could also involve people, like Sleeping Beauty. But what do we call these stories with animals that behave like people? It's not a fairy tale. It's not a folk tale. Yes, it's a kind of fiction, Joda, but there's a specific kind that it's think about the Three Little Pigs and all these stories with animals that can talk, animals that behave like humans. I'm going to show you my answer. It's called a fable. A fable. So usually a fable has animals that can talk or have the characteristics of humans, and also that we can learn a lesson from the story. Let's learn from this. What did you learn from this story? I see you guys forgot about that. Yes, remember about the fable. What is the lesson that you learned or that you can learn from this story? I didn't ask that as an official question, but I'm just curious because we said it's a fable. So we want to look for some kind of meaning or lesson. Nokwanda said, always be ready for adventure. That's a good one. So there's no right answer. If you can explain it or if it makes sense, then I will give you the point. Face your fears. That's a good one, Joda. Face your fears. Yes, so the thing that you are most afraid of can become a thing that you really enjoy. Neo said, do not try touching an animal in water. There was Zinzi said, I learned about being fearless. And Caleb said, I learned that being scared is not always the wrong thing. Yes, we can also, that's what we learn if we look at Kato. How about if we look at Vicky? There's a warning, right? Vicky was so brave and so confident, and he thought nothing could go wrong. And then actually they were in a situation where he did not know what to do. So he was shouting for help. If it hadn't been for those swans, then there would have been a much bigger problem, because maybe Kata would have drowned because Vicky didn't jump in to try and save him. So the two lessons we can have, or well, two of the main things, the one has to do with Kato, about facing your fears, being brave, going on an adventure. And the other one is, if we're looking at Vicky, that you shouldn't be too confident or think nothing can go wrong, because you might get to a situation where you actually need someone's help. And there's, Nokwanda also said, always ask for help. Yes, if we know we cannot do something, instead of trying to show everybody that we can, it's better to just say, I can't, can you please help me? And then I want to ask you let's just ask, just for interest's sake, what are your fears? What things, I'm talking about adventurous things. Don't tell me things like spiders or whatever. If you're thinking about going on an adventure like a boat or an airplane, or rock climbing, or jumping from an airplane, or going in a hot air balloon, are you scared of any of these things? Oh, Neo said, ma'am, I'm fearless. Is there anything that you are scared of? High things, said Zinzi. So Zinzi, when you go high up on a high bridge or something, you get very scared. Remember, there's nothing wrong with being scared of something. There are certain things that I don't think I will do, because I don't think, for example, that I will do skydiving or jumping from an airplane. Someone says hunting and looking for snakes and riding a plane. Scared to go on a boat. I'm just reading it out loud. Scared of heights and injections, shark diving. So all of these things, skydiving, heights, these are things that are valid fears, because there are reasons why you are scared of these things, and some of the reasons are very good. But I want to challenge you to to face the fears that you can face. So if you are scared of water, then try to go into water, try to go swimming after the lockdown or when it's summer again. If you are scared of boats, then go on a boat. The thing that you are scared of, try to face it. If you are scared of rock climbing, go rock climbing. And I can't talk about skydiving because I will not go skydiving, even though I'm telling you guys to face your fears. I don't think I will do that. But the simple things that you can do every day to enjoy yourself, like something like rock climbing or going on a boat, those are things that we can face easily and overcome. Right, and then quickly just tell me, if you had to write this story, how would you finish the story? How would you finish this story? Would you write the same ending or would you finish the story a little bit differently? If you were the writer, what would you change about this story? So after Carter and Vicky came back on the boat, what would you have changed anything? Guys, quickly answer the questions, then we can chat for 2 minutes afterwards. Okay, Zinzi said the same ending. Mulu, how would you change the ending? You said you want to change the ending. What would happen? Joda, what would happen in your ending? Kata won't fall. All right. So even if we have the same crisis in the middle, like Kata falling into the water, we can have a different ending. We can say they went home and actually he didn't fall asleep at the dinner table. He could tell about his adventure, or we can say he took his whole family on a boat ride. I'm seeing your answers now. He can climb the tree shivering. There we go. Mulu said, I make sure he gets to tell his story. Yes, I was also hoping that he could get to tell his story. All right, guys, this has been such a fun lesson. Quickly before you go, because I do want to chat with you for 2 minutes before you go, you can find your worksheets on the website. This is what you have to do. You have to take these pictures and tell the story to someone. You don't have to write it or anything. You could just go to your mom or dad or sister, brother, fish or dog and tell them the story. And you can use the tree, all these pictures that you see to remind you of what happened. Okay, so take a picture quickly, make a screenshot or go to the website to find these pictures. And there you can share your homework with me. Before you go, I just want to see, will any of you, someone said that they will not be returning because maybe you're going back to school. Let me see, who was that? I can't find the name now. But just know that I will miss you a lot, and then you can come back anytime that you want. You can come see how we're doing, and remember to share. Oh, it's Joda. Joda, please come back when you can, okay? Even if you're going back to school or going somewhere else, whenever you can come visit us, please come visit us. And then share this school with your friends, because we can grow the classes. It will be fun to meet more friends. For those of you who are staying, you can share this with the link with everybody you know, because everybody's welcome to attend, right? And you can go check out this website, storyweaver.org.in. There you'll find all these stories with lovely pictures, and you can find different levels. So you can start with level 1. If it's too easy, you can go to level 2, 3, and 4. Tomorrow we will do some language. We will look at modal verbs, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you. Remember to follow us on social media. Right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day and see you tomorrow.